Is midlife dating dead? The world of healthy dating is collapsing before our very eyes, or at least it seems to be. Today, I want to look at some of the contributing causes of dating's decline, and then I'll share 3 tips to immediately improve the quality of the dates that you go on. For the past few weeks, my YouTube and Facebook feed have been flooded with stories from the world of dating. The men are complaining about the women, and the women are complaining about the men. And if I'm seeing this much negativity, I'm fairly confident you are too. It's everything from, I can't find a good woman to date, to, I don't want to hear about how terrible your ex-wife was. It struck me just how unprepared these daters are for midlife dating. They have no clue about the fundamentals of dating and are usually dating with a chip on their shoulder. The second thing I noticed is that most of the people that were complaining the loudest knew the least about the person they were about to go out with. There should be no reason to be on a first date and not know some basic information about each other. There should be no reason to be on a first date if you don't at least feel a little connection from conversations on the phone. With the exception of a blind date, you should have at least a couple of conversations on the phone. Depending on how you met, you may start with a couple of text messages, advance to phone calls, and then agreeing to meet in person if there seems to be a connection. I believe there's a strong correlation between the immediate gratification society we live in today and the fact that dating as we know it has one foot in the grave. Even knowing all this, you're still going to have dates that are duds. I've met women that I could have wonderful conversations with on the phone. Once we recognized that, the next obvious step was to meet in person. However, it wasn't until we met face to face that we discovered there just was no chemistry. If you're getting set up on a blind date, make sure the person setting you up is there to get the date rolling. Ideally, it will be another couple that accompanies you on this date. There's no reason to complain how hard dating is if you're doing your due diligence up front. The first 30 days of knowing someone is to determine whether they're worth pursuing further or not. This part of the dating process is not about judging whether someone is a good person or not. Most people are. It's about determining compatibility, or the potential of it, to see if a second, third, or fourth date are even warranted. You should continue this process until the time you decide you're ready to be in an exclusive relationship. Then your focus should shift to examining this person to start figuring out if you can see them as part of your future, and they should be doing the same with you. This is where most people drop the ball. They get into an exclusive relationship and stop getting to know their partner on a deeper level. When you stop learning about your partner, you end up in a dating rut. Before you know it, you're walking down the aisle, and then you start to see things that you missed after you're married. This is exactly why I do what I do. It's to help you make better decisions about the people you date and the relationships you enter. Far too many divorces occur because people stop learning about each other. The infatuation of the new relationship wears off, and you wake up one day and ask, what the heck have I done? Don't fall into the trap of dating unprepared. Do your homework. Get to know someone at least a little bit before going on a first date. If you need help figuring out how to do your homework, let me know. I can help you see more clearly through your rose-colored glasses or your blinders. Here are 3 tips to help you improve your dating experience. Tip number 1, make sure you're emotionally healthy and ready to date. If you're newly divorced or widowed, you're not emotionally ready yet. You need time to process the loss of your marriage and your partner. No matter how much time you think you had during your separation or in dealing with a spouse in ill health, it still takes time once your marriage is ended. There's no skipping this part. If you dive in too quickly, you'll be dragging many unresolved emotions into any future relationship. Until you process these emotions, you'll not be much fun to date. From personal experience, And talking with hundreds of people, virtually every one of them denied they needed to do any healing, especially in the first year. And to a person, they all later admitted they had no idea how tough the mental and emotional transition would be. Tip number 2, take time to figure out what you want in your next relationship. You may think that's an easy task, but let me share this with you. More than 90% of the people I meet for the first time can tell me more about what they don't want in a relationship than what they do want. You get what you focus on. That means if you're focusing on what you don't want, guess what? That's exactly what you're going to find. And then you start thinking, where are all the good ones? There are no good people left to date. To avoid this conundrum, create a must-have and deal-breaker list. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make on a regular basis is to start looking for someone based on what they don't want. It's important to write these lists down on a piece of paper, in the notes section on your phone, or in a Word or Google document on your computer. This one thing will help you focus on what's important to you, not get off track, and avoid wasting precious time dating the wrong people. Tip number 3, learn to value your intuition. If a date or relationship isn't feeling right, it's probably not. When you start to have these feelings, it's time to start looking at your must-have and deal-breaker lists. Is there something you missed? Are they displaying any traits on your deal-breaker list, or maybe displaying other warning signs? Maybe it's as simple as they don't meet all of your must-haves. Regardless of what the reason is, it's time to evaluate the date or relationship and determine whether to continue or to move on. Here's a bonus tip. Always, always, always start with coffee or cocktails. This makes for an inexpensive first meeting. If it goes well, you can extend the date to lunch, dinner, a walk in the park, or some other activity that allows you to talk and get to know each other. That's all part of the dating process. If you're meeting for just coffee or cocktails, there's not a lot of pressure to try to force or fake a good time. When you keep it simple, you can focus on getting to know the other person. If it's not going well, you can end the date quickly and move on without a lot of drama, and that still gives you time to salvage the rest of your day or evening and do something else. If you'd like to take a little deeper dive into how to improve your dating life, watch my free on-demand masterclass, The 5 Biggest Dating and Relationship Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. In about 45 minutes, you'll learn the 5 biggest mistakes midlife singles make and my top 5 solutions to avoid them. And if you want to take an even deeper dive into how to date with intention, check out my course, Dating Made Simple Academy. The registration links for both are in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. In the meantime, happy dating.